Johnson. I feel like I want to wrap it away now to get through the 6 minutes. But so who am I? Well, I'm a Guardian columnist along with Faisal, and I'm an author. Books sold in about, well, seen in about 20 different languages. On the board of trustees for London Probation. That's 32 boroughs across London. I'm a visiting associate of Durham and a few other things. I'll just sort of blow my own trumpet. But for me, I'm pretty unique because there's not many people like me. In the last 12 years, I've been to 33 funerals of people, either my friends or people who've worked for me. And because I come from a very dysfunctional background, introduced drugs at 8 years old, I had the first drink. 11 first use of heroin, and I was on the streets. I lived on the streets and stuff in the West End. Actually, that was my area. I got into drug treatment in 2000. I did 1 year of residential drug treatment, where I got brought back to life from about 7.5 stone, covered in body lice, scabs over the socks of my feet, etc. It's a well documented story. And I started a business, and my business was, this is cutting a very long story short. My business was arboriculture, but actually it wasn't about the business, because in the small print of my business plan, I said that I was going to employ people like me, so young people, young offenders, and people recovering from addiction. And in 4 years, my business employed over 200 of them, and had a constant crew of 25 with about 6 vehicles and stuff in 4 years, from the shop doorway to that. And I'll tell you, it's pretty tough to catch your breath. And then the Prince of Wales asked me to go and see him, as you do. And then I started to consult with the government, and I started to consult with all the big agencies in the country around youth exclusion and prison and drug addiction, because my experience is now my qualification. Yeah, I've been to school for a very long time in those areas. I can guarantee you. But one thing, I've also rehabilitated mentally, emotionally, and so I started to consult with these agencies. I started to consult with charities, etc. And there's one thing that I found missing, and that is there's no organisation out there that has the community that we call offenders leading and delivering its own programmes. Yeah. So we've got all these. I think we have a colonialist approach to solving social problems. Yeah. Where the sort of predominantly white middle class academics get into positions of education and then go and dole out services to vulnerable members of the community, and we wonder why it doesn't work. Whereas I think evidence of that is that there could be an organisation that's led and delivered by the group that we sort of condemn, really, or the media condemns, and that's why I've created USerVoice. I found my voice. That's probably the thing to add as well. I found my voice, and I'm quite loud with it as well. And but I see thousands of other children, young people stuck in a system that actually, given the opportunity, they could find theirs. Yeah. So from the person, the young kid who's drug dealing on his estate, into business, yeah, and into contributing to the solution that solves problems for other people like him. And that's how I started USerVoice. And the underline is, only offenders can stop reoffending, because there's many criminal justice brands which claim we change lives. We can't, because it's only people who commit crime that can actually stop doing it. And unless we get into the brass tacks of why they do it and their insights of the living reality of crime, we're not going to get any further with it. So, founded in 2009, connected with decision makers. That's basically the shortest way that I can get it across to you, and that is connect decision makers, people with power, with the people that live the reality, who I call the real experts over their own lives. So it registered in 2009, 2012 to 13, expected turnover will be over 1 million quid. When you know what we do, it's on distance travel. I'm very proud of that fact, because most of that 1 million, in fact mostly all of it, is contractual income from prisons and probation and criminal justice agencies. Now, let me put that another way. A prison governor is under the biggest cuts ever, yeah? We're in the worst economic climate ever, pays USerVoice to have his ex-residents go back into prison to work with his prisoners. So why does he do that? Because he knows that he can't reach the areas that he needs to and engage with the people that cause the biggest problem. He can't do it because of the attitude and the barrier of mistrust that exists within that environment. USerVoice is unique. Its unique element is that it's 80% staffed by ex-offenders. Personally, I'll have it 100%. Oh, that's horrible. This is what happens if you go over somebody who doesn't. The problem, 7 in 10, 3 in 5 from prison. If we were a business, we'd be bankrupt. Yeah, we'd absolutely be bankrupt. Yet public services continue to live with these dismal figures of people. Now you can say we've got a really bad group of people out there, yeah, or you can say that the services they get they're not appropriate for or subjected to. This is the distillation model. Watch Your Story, is a new market for USerVoice. It's about the youth market, so we work in prisons, in adults, and mental health. The youth side, which I think is absolutely got a greater need than anybody else, we're breaking into that market. Last year, 740 surveys, so it's all user-led, ex-offenders going into the community, consulting with the youth, etc. This distillation process identifies a group of 175 young people with leadership qualities. They go into 36 focus groups around the country. Then the community, the offending community, votes in its own representation. So it's not your face fits or you know the most polite person. It's actually the community says, no, you're more relevant to me, and I want you representing me into these decision makers. So we took 25 reps. We drove them into the annual Youth Justice Board convention in Brighton last year, and they caused the mayhem. I'll add to that, but it was absolutely fantastic. And what we've done is, I think that we affected those people. The young people actually got and spoke, completely led by them, and they affected criminal justice agencies that work with them to want to create change. The impact that had, so off the investment, which I'm kind of pitching for tonight, the impact that it had is 8 people on there, and I wish I could have brought them, we could have had some more fun. But the impact, there's now 8 youth-led councils, there's 160 youth offending teams in England and Wales, We've got an impact in 8 of them. Each one of those councils are worth £30,000. That employs the leader, the entrepreneurial leader, who's absolutely really brave, sitting with the decision makers, but also they impact a wider community and it continues to grow. And we get services that are more in tune with the young people that have to blooming use them. That's what I want to leave you with. That's what USerVoice is about. We're looking for funding for this year's event to basically start to continue and take bites out of this 160 youth offending teams, which we've only got 8, and I want to keep doing it until we're in 160. Thank you.